The Lewis and Clark expedition is one of the most popular moments in all of American history. People just can't get enough of it. So, in this lecture, what we're going to do is take a grand overview of their entire journey. I call this lecture Lewis and Clark End to End. We begin in Monticello with Thomas Jefferson. He's the brains behind this expedition. He's the architect, and he's designing where it should go and who should be involved. And then quickly we move out to St. Louis to pick up the men, Lewis and Clark and their party, and we'll follow them up the Missouri River, 1,600 miles in the year 1804, until they reach up here what is now North Dakota. Ice is coming down the river. They can't proceed any further that winter, so they build a winter camp. And it's in this place also where they'll meet the Shoshone Indian girl named Sacagawea, who will join their party. Then after the winter time passes, in the spring of 1805, Lewis and Clark will continue their journey, and we'll follow with them as they proceed westward across what is now Montana, up to the Rocky Mountains, and then their dramatic story of crossing up and over the Rocky Mountains, and in 650 miles down the Columbia River, we'll follow them until they reach their destination, the Pacific Ocean. Here, once again, they'll build a second winter camp and wait for the spring to make their return back home. In the month of March, they notice little buds are starting to appear on branches, and that's the indicator that spring is coming, and Lewis and Clark know they have to begin right now that homeward bound journey. And so we'll follow them as they go back up the Columbia River, traveling against that swift current all the way back, retracing their steps to the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. They try to make it over the top the first time. There's too much snow. And on their second attempt, they finally make it up and over onto the eastern side of the Rocky Mountains. And here they are. They've got it made. All they have to do is just retrace their steps back down the Missouri River, and the journey is going to be a success. But here is the part that sets Lewis and Clark apart from any other expedition. From the north, there was a river called the Marias River, and Lewis and Clark knew that the watershed of the Marias would be the northwest corner of the Louisiana Purchase, and Mr. Jefferson would want to know that latitude. And then they had passed a great river coming from the south called the Yellowstone, and Mr. Jefferson also would want to have known what the watershed of that looked like. So here's Lewis and Clark. What are they going to do? Should they just retrace their steps down the Missouri? It's going to be a fabulous expedition if they do. Or should they all go up northward towards Canada and explore this Marias River? Or should they all go southward to the Yellowstone? What do they do? Which one of these three choices should they make? What do? They do it all. Lewis and Clark split up. No one would ever do anything like this, but it's exactly what Lewis and Clark do, and we'll describe this great moment in this expedition where Lewis takes a party of men and he heads up north exploring the Marias, and Clark will take another party of men and come down here and find the Yellowstone and explore down the Yellowstone. And then 650 miles from where they split up, they rejoin each other again in the wilderness. It's just a remarkable story. And then we'll follow with Lewis and Clark and their party all back together once again down the Missouri River. Finally, they reach St. Louis where they had begun, and they pull up in front of the town, and the townsfolk come out and look at them, and they don't know, who are these people? Are they Indians? They're all sunburned and wearing these clothes made out of animal hides. Who are these people? And then they realize, oh, these are the famous Lewis and Clark. So we'll follow Lewis and Clark on their journey, picking up all the highlights in this lecture. Lewis and Clark, end to end.